Hello friends, we need to talk. So first of all, apologies for all the crazy bit of spiky hair, but I've got the window open because it's that odd warm humid today, and the door behind me is going to keep blowing open because the wind catches it too. Secondly, thank you so much for your feedback saying you enjoyed the last ironing chats. I wondered about calling this series Ironing Board Chats, but it sounded a bit dull. So anyway, thank you for that. I really appreciate it when I try something new, knowing whether you like it or not. So a bit of newness coming lately. I've been having a good think while I've been on the motorway and trying things out, and I really love to hear your feedback. If you are new, welcome. I'm Secret Girly, you can call me Sam, and if you're one of my existing followers, hello and welcome back. It's lovely to have you here again. Today is going to be another ironing board chat, and I want to talk to you because I've been thinking and then overthinking. So let me grab my first bit of ironing. So friends, I've been doing some thinking, which I do a lot of. And then sometimes I do a bit more thinking, and then I get myself sometimes a little bit like woo about things, and I think that has happened on this occasion. So you may or may not have heard me talk about before the fact that I gave up on fast fashion, and that's fast fashion of any kind, not just the cheap stuff that we like to think is fast fashion, but I gave up on, well, buying new basically. A really long time ago now. It was probably 5-6 years ago now. I say really long time, that's not really, but it is in terms of once you've made thoughts about things. So I gave up on buying new and mostly went to buying second hand / charity shops, etc. And I shared that, I think I shared that with you all. I did that from one of the Oxfam run second hand Septembers, and just didn't stop. And didn't mean I didn't occasionally buy something ready-made or brand new, as in new to me first, but generally I didn't. And I've always been creative and always made / sewn things, but then I really went headfirst into sewing again, and I've done it before and backs and forwards, but really dove in. And I remember my first pattern was the patina blouse, and then really had a reevaluate of my fabrics, and then started thinking about the fact that you've got to be careful not to be a fast fashion sewist. And if you have been a follower for a while, you will have heard me mention that, but I promise you I'm going to say something different today. So I then started to look for remnants, de-stash, charity shop fabrics to supplement the brand new fabrics I've been buying. Now I have read a bit about the fake production of dead stock fabrics. I will put a link to it below. I think they're called the Clothes Horse Podcast, I want to say. And there is now an entire fabric industry which is producing fabric straight away to be sold as dead stock. So it isn't dead stock, is it? Because they're specifically making it to sell and call it that. So they're either overproducing fabric purposely to have spare, or they're producing it and calling it that. Now I don't know, and I haven't looked into if there's any fabric shops / and I don't know how you'd know who was buying that, but it is something I've become aware of. So I've become a little bit trepidatious, is that a word? It is now, about purchasing things that are said to be dead stock and not just fully 100% believing it. But I've also been thinking a lot, and this is why we need to talk, about the word haul and drop and all those sorts of things. Now you may notice it's a long time since I've used the word fabric haul in one of my vlogs, and that's been a conscious decision because Now this is where I get myself tangled in knots and think maybe I'm just overthinking it, and that's why I want to talk to you all, because if I promote hauls of fabric, how is that different? And I don't know the answer, it's not a rhetorical question, it's a real question. How is that different from a haul from Primark or a haul from TK or TJ Maxx or wherever? Because it's still new stuff and I'm still promoting buying big amounts. So the thinking got me as far as, so far, stopping using the word. But for those of you who know anything about YouTube and viewers love a haul. Now I love to share with you the fabrics I found and where I found them from, and if it's a bargain or what did I find. And I love sharing with you a small business, and I love that I have seen people buying from small businesses. So this is why I think it's called the sword of Damocles. It's this impossible situation where the sword is hanging above his head. So if anyone knows, I just have this vague memory of this, so I probably completely butchered this thing. But it's this impossible situation, because if we don't use small businesses, they will go. And small businesses are such an important part of A, the sewing community, and B, local and national economy, and women bigging up women and all of those sorts of things. So if I don't share those with you when I use them, I'm missing out on an opportunity to lift someone up and help someone out. But I don't want to use the word haul, so I've stopped using that, but still sharing the things I find. But then I am trying to find fabric in charity shops, etc., but it is a treasure hunt. And for any of you who do it or try it, you can go for weeks, if not months sometimes, before you find something. And you can't go out and get it when you want it. You've kind of already got to find it when it's available, and then it's in your stash. So then I get in another moment, because then my stash can end up becoming bigger than I'd like it to be, because it's full of duvet covers, etc., that I've found in charity shops when I find them, because you just don't know when you're going to find a gem. But then I'm also trying to sew to a palette range, because then all my clothes work together. So you can see why we need to talk. It's quite tricky, and it's not, let me be clear, it's not taking away the fun of my sewing or the fun of me sharing with you, or the fun of the searching, both for real, for new fabrics and second hand. But what it is doing is giving me pause for thought. And so I thought I would share some of my internal monologue with you. So then something else has happened recently, which is, as many of you are aware, I've had some challenges going on. And like many people, sometimes we feel we need a little treat when we're feeling a challenge. Like, well done, I survived this week. And I saw this great quote that basically said, it's great to reward yourself, but if every week you need a reward, you know. So I took a decision many years ago, slight off tangent here, to not drink when I'm stressed, because when I was a teacher and a head teacher, it did become a bit of a like living meme, the amount of teachers and heads who are like, can't wait for my wine when I get home, I'm so stressed. And so I made a conscious decision about that, not to do that, because it's a slippery slope that can start really quickly, and I like to describe it as self-medicating. So I took that decision, but emotionally shopping and emotionally treating yourself, and then I know that I said I'm not putting myself in a fabric ban, but I am buying plains, which I did, and that worked, and I buy a lot more plains now, so that definitely worked and helped me and opened my eyes to looking at the right things. And then I've tried to shop with purpose. So I have decided that my next tattoo, or the tattoo after that, is going to be a tattoo that says progress, not perfection, because I think it applies to all aspects of life, including what I'm talking about. So I am making progress with promoting buying second-hand, remnants, etc., small business. But also there's the cost, isn't there? So you all know I love a bargain, and I love a ferret, and I love to find things out, and I wait for sales and all that sort of thing, and then things all fall at the same time. So let me just tell you a little story about what's happened recently. So Confident had a sale on, so I grabbed some, as you probably just seen me ironing, some remnants, and they were things that I'd been looking at full price, so I'm happy to buy them because I was looking at them anyway. And gorgeous plains like this, which will make an amazing pair of trousers. So obviously I waited for the sales, but of course everyone does their sales at once. And then the Crafty Pie had her release of her fabrics, which were a bit of me. I don't know how else to put it really. And the lovely Sam of So Let's Sparkle with Sam said on one of her recent vlogs, I know this is more of a fabric that Sam, Sequin Girly Sam, would buy. She said, but I couldn't resist it. So I think, you know, everybody could probably see that collection and see how much a bit of me it was. So I did pre-order some, and I was really careful about, why am I just buying? I decided to buy suitable amounts that made me feel that they weren't over the top, but I could enjoy them. So they were pre-ordered, ready for when it was released. And so I asked So Confident, because I bought a couple of the pre-orders from them and a couple from Fabric Beehive. I asked So Confident to send me the sale items and the Crafty Pie bits at the same time. And then I'd ordered months ago a gorgeous madras, which will pop up in a minute, I'll show you. And that was out of stock for ages, like absolutely ages. And suddenly that came back into stock in the same week that the So Confident Crafty Pie sale delivery came, and the Fabric Beehive came, and I did the visit to Sevenoaks, and I found an alternative place which I wanted to try before I told you about it, to get the gorgeous tiger fabric. You can see where I'm going here. Everything all came within the space of a week, even though some of these things were ordered a month ago or months ago. Suddenly my world of fabric collides. Let's do the madras so you can see it. This is the madras I ordered months ago from Minerva, and I'm glad it's come before the summer's ended. So I have ended up with a significant pile of fabric all at once. Now I could do a vlog that says sharing my fabric haul, but I feel really uncomfortable about doing that, because someone watching it could really feel, and you, my lovely viewers, can tell me whether I'm getting this right here, feel pressure to buy things because money is tight, and this has been over a series of months, and you know, that I've planned and thought through, and suddenly I'm showing you a huge stack of fabric, and I'm aware that there's a reason why we're called influencers, that I could influence you accidentally into feeling pressure to buy it. Oh, and the lovely Leslie sent me some fabric as well. And I bought something from Beck's D-Stash. So, I hate the thought of anyone feeling pressured to buy more fabric, or to buy from a drop, or to feel that it's get it now because this is it, and all of this sort of thing. And so I worry about sharing sometimes, the fabric and that pressure. And that's why I often talk a lot about, you know, looking out for remnants, looking for good deals, that sort of thing. And also how I talk about how you can reuse and hack patterns, because again, I really am conscious that I don't want people to feel a pressure to keep buying the newest pattern. Now, obviously, that's very different from buying fabric, because the environmental impact is very minimal if you buy a PDF pattern, but it still costs money. And if there's already a dress in your pattern collection that is similar, or a top, or like my much talked about Tammy handmade Naya that can be made in so many different ways, and the Seasons of East dress and the patina pattern, when money's tight or saving for something else and you still want to enjoy your hobby, then you can get so much out of one pattern. But if I keep going new, and I actually turned down what was it, like a collaboration with a company recently. Now, much respect to the people who took it up, and I have no issue with it at all, but I realised I couldn't take it up because it didn't fit with what I'd said, and it wouldn't be truthful, and it was a printer. And I told you all back at the beginning of the year in my year review and my year plans that this was the year that I wouldn't be printing out PDFs. Well, if I then take a printer and encourage you to get to buy a printer, that's not what I've said I'm going to do this year. If I was going to print out PDFs, then I would have done it. And completely respect, there's a lot of amazing people who I hugely respect out there printing out and sticking together PDFs. It's just not for me. And that is the thing right now that does not work for me, particularly with what's going on and making sure I enjoy my sewing. And I'm incredibly grateful for the privilege I have to not need to do that. Although it's quite interesting, Mandy of Make It So did talk about actually when she calculated the cost of printing them herself, it isn't as frugal as she thought it was compared to ordering them. So I do try to think really hard about it, and I know I've been really lucky and had like Legend send me some fabrics which I then shared in a giveaway, because I do want to always share the love, as I say. So yeah, friends, what do you think? How do you feel about hauls? Do you just enjoy the window shopping, or does it make you feel pressured? Do you understand what I'm saying about worrying about all these things but still buying new fabric? Because I don't want to look like a hypocrite, because I'm not. These are thoughts, these are not promises, deeds, oaths that I've made. But in a situation like this where the fabric world has collided and almost everything has appeared at the same time, do I share it all in one vlog with you? Do you like that? Would you rather I didn't? Am I just going crazy here and thinking far too much about all of this? And I won't really stop thinking carefully about this, because it's just part of who I am. And I know that, as I say, it's about progress, not perfection. And there will be other times where they won't be parcels for weeks and weeks and weeks. Yeah, you know, and I'm proud of my deep thinking, and I'm proud of being a deep feeler. But and it doesn't get to me or make me sad, but I do think about things like that a lot. So anyway, tell me, what do you want to do? You're seeing a lot of fabric being ironed right now. Do you want to know where they're all from? Do you want to know what I'm going to do with them? Do you want a haul video? Well, I won't be calling it a haul. Do you want a shopping, what did I call it? Fabric shopping update, yep. Oh, if you've got a suggestion for a name of it, I'd love to hear that. Rather than fabric haul, YouTube loves that phrase as well. Do you have a great name for it? But yeah, there we go, friends. We needed to talk because I really need to know what you think and feel, because otherwise I'm just in my own head and I've got no idea what the lovely people on the other side of this square think about what I'm doing and what I'm thinking, and whether actually you're not bothered and you just like to see what you like, a nosy, because I like a nosy at things too, you know. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Little other updates for you. I have filmed already episode 2 of the Threading My Way Through Kent, and you might even have seen this by the time this comes out, because I haven't worked out the order, but you might have done. And I'm planning episode 3, and thank you for suggestions from people for other places. So I'm planning a good series. I think it's going to take me a good few months, but that's okay. If nothing else, my wallet couldn't cope if I did it all in one go. And I'm really enjoying revisiting places that I haven't been to for a good while. It's really nice, and I really loved the feedback people gave on that, and I'm glad that you're enjoying a bit of variety, because I enjoy the variety too. It doesn't mean I don't just love a good chat like today, or lovely just a little update on what I've been up to, but it's nice to keep things fresh, isn't it, for everyone. Oh, this is a fiddly one to fold. Are you feeling in pain watching me trying to fold this? I'm having to do it in thirds because that's the right width to roll it, but getting it in thirds when it's this long is fiddly. Now, I'm happy to share with you where this gorgeous beast came from, and the green one that was in last time's, and the pink one, and the black and white. So I'm very happy to share with you where they're from now, because I've ordered from them twice and had the same level of service. I've washed these and ironed them, so I feel that I'm not going to accidentally give you inappropriate, unsafe or bad quality information. So these fabrics have made their way here from India, so then I start worrying about air miles, and they are from a company, I think it's got the word Jaipur in it, and I will put it on the screen and link it below, and found them on Etsy. I did a Google lens search of this fabric, and they're not the widest fabric as fabric goes, but all that's in the details. They are cotton, and they definitely feel like cotton, that's for sure. And each order came in less than a week, which I think is amazing. Delivery is free. They seem to always have a discount on, even though they sent me one for buying. It was the same as what was on there. So it was £19 for 3 yards. So that is £6.50 or something like that. 3, 6, 8, yeah, about £6.50 per yard, which is just slightly less than a metre, isn't it? And the wash has come up well. Bit of colour comes out, so just put your colour catcher in or wash separately, but they're still very bright after washing, because that's another thing to consider, isn't it? Have they fixed the dye appropriately? Some are slightly softer than others, but I might give one a little soak in vinegar to see if that softens it up a bit more. And then, quite interestingly, I was walking past in Sevenoaks, and I'll put the picture here, a sort of fancy homeware type shop, sort of like a small business one, and hanging in the window was some pyjamas made of an orange version, so this stripe with these tigers on. So clearly this is a trending fabric, as they like to say. And then I found them on Pinterest as well. So clearly, because I know Fabric Godmother's got it, and she's got it for £16 a metre. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, because I don't have that one, so I can't compare the width or the quality. And you may well prefer to buy from her. And also, Miss Ginger's did have the tiger one. She's got other ones. I shared with you one. But I always, as you know, like to find a good price, good value, and I did order from a different company and almost identical price, but took a lot longer to get here. They did it by Royal Mail. The tracking was very good on the first company as well, so I'm only going to recommend the first company because that's the one that I ordered from twice, and the delivery was very good and the quality has been consistent. And I felt I owed it to you all to make sure I had a good test of what they had on offer. But wouldn't want to hold back on you now that I know that it's been consistent. And I'm very excited to think what to make with these. I think they'll make phenomenal pyjamas. I'm not a big, well, I say I'm not a big pyjama wearer. It's just I just end up wearing sort of joggery pyjama trousers and a t-shirt. But actually, if I had something like this, I might wear them. And so yeah, so there's this one and this one. So yeah, I think, and you can tell the front and the back because the back doesn't have the print so intensely on it. This black is extra soft. It's probably because it's got less dye on it, perhaps. But I thought this would make amazing bias binding, like round something that's pink. Like imagine that bias binding on there. So that's what I had in mind for the blacks, to make bias binding with it. So, how long have I been waffling for? Okay, nearly half an hour. Might be a little bit less than that once I've edited it, but there we go. So lots for you to tell me what you think, and watch out because there's trouser vlog, t-shirt vlog, next threading my way through Kent vlog. Oh, if I had the time, you'd end up with 3 or 4 a week from me, but no, I haven't got the time, and also you'd get sick of me as well. So I am now going to finish my ironing, and I will catch you again soon, and I hope you're getting a chance to do the things that you love, even if it's for a little bit, and I hope that you are getting some peace. See you soon. Bye.